Teams of observers from the US and East were sent away in the country during the polling period at the invite of the government of PNG to observe the 2012 national elections. While the counting is now on across the country and the assessment report is still preliminary, the report was based on the campaign and polling phases. Observers witnessed serious irregularities, especially in the nation's capital, islands and the Momase regions, which they claim may have impacted the outcome of the votes in these places.
In other regions of the country, including the National Capital District, parts of the Highlands, and Momase, the elections appeared to be passable. However, observers witnessed serious irregularities that called into question the integrity of the secret ballot and the ability of all qualified, registered citizens to cast their vote. It is possible that these irregularities may have impacted the outcome of the vote in certain constituencies. It is our considered assessment that irregularities that were observed in the voting process were in large part not the result of action directed by any government entity or political party.
However, Ambassador Taylor says these irregularities were the unintended consequences of poor logistical organization and inadequate training of poll workers. They also concerned that large numbers of names were omitted on the rolls and people were marking ballots for illiterate voters.
Observers in parts of the Highlands, Momase, and the National Capital District witnessed widespread issues with the marking of illiterate voters' ballots by others without adequate consultation to discern the voters' intent. In parts of the Highlands and Momase, widespread traditional practices which had the impact of having voters publicly declare their vote violated the integrity of the secrecy of the ballot.
Despite this, he says a few positive things were also observed, and the most notable one was the establishment of separate polling booths for women in the Highlands and the proactive approach taken by the security forces to remove significant number of weapons, thus preventing more violence. He said PNG still needed to do a lot in future for free, fair and safe elections to be held and recommended a few steps to take in future.
Our recommendation for priority areas of focus include reform of the registration process and production of the electoral rolls, introduction of provisional ballots for those who were inadvertently omitted from the rolls, redesign of the ballot to allow illiterate voters to vote without need for assistance, and consultation with communities on ways to utilize traditional means of preventing interethnic conflict without compromising the integrity of the secret ballot.
He says the U.S. government is looking forward to partnering with the new government that will be formed after this election and commended the government for holding elections in accordance with the time frame laid out in the Constitution. Ruth Rungula, National MTV News.